Whoa, 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 whoa. Looky here. Look who's back.
The Tuesday night crew.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Oh, excuse me. Oh. Excuse me. Whoa. Wow, I lost my voice there for a little bit. What's up, America? Um,
What's up?
Obviously, you're seeing us right now on your screen. You're thinking to yourself, what what's been different in my life for the last four weeks, 3 weeks? Hey, we you know what? We're busy. Busy guys, you know? As much as I'd like to do this for a living, and get paid like a lot of these guys do, even though we're super smart and a lot more funnier, smarter, handsome than them. We don't. So, it's not
No.
easy, bro. It ain't easy. So, obviously, we had two hurricanes hit Tampa. That was absolutely insane. And then obviously the cleanup after that. And then just the hustle and bustle of life, man. And we said, and, oh, actually, and also, my computer didn't really work for a little bit. So that was a little bit of a problem. But all that's in the past. We're here in the future. I know it's kind of hard to see me. Lighting's not great. There we go. But we're here. Kenny, how are you?
I'm good. Doing great. I'm glad to be back in the studio, the virtual studio. It's great to be back. Like Richard said, two hurricanes hit us. Prayers to everyone that's affected by those.
Absolutely.
Um, that was a brutal 2 weeks. I mean, technically, like it was like 2.5 weeks, I think, but of hurricanes that hit Florida, which obviously stunk. Thankfully, we're out of that. Hopefully, that doesn't happen again, like this year at all. Hopefully, it doesn't happen ever again, but eventually, obviously, I'm sure a hurricane will hit us again, but let's hope it's not for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
we live in Florida, so
exactly, unfortunately. But yeah, no, it's great to be back. Today, just gonna dive into the usual. If you're new here, we go into fantasy football a little bit, take about 10 minutes, kind of dive into our league roughly. And then from there on, we go to NFL picks. Our picks are on fire. Uh, been a few weeks since we made any picks, so probably just gonna start fresh with the pick records. I mean, we haven't really conferred about that if we're gonna do that or not, so gonna have to figure that out. But it's great to be back. It's great to be back.
yeah, so let's just get right into it. Yankees, Dodgers, who do you like tonight?
Uh, I don't watch baseball.
It's a joke for all you World Series fans out there. Game four tonight. Dodgers are up 3-0.
Let's go
But Kenny,
Yankees.
Kenny does not even know that is happening right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, I do.
So
Yeah, I do. My brother-in-law, Melvin, who's one of the
shout out Melvin, former MPL.
former MPL, like three-time MPL champion of this
Yep.
podcast.
Yep.
He's rooting hard for the Yankees. So is Tino, Eric, his brothers.
Technically,
So
technically, Melvin brought this podcast overseas.
yeah, we are. Melvin is the reason we are worldwide.
We are literally worldwide because of Melvin.
Yeah,
So if there's no Melvin, there's no worldwide.
yeah. Until we
Um,
start traveling, but
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, let's break it down real quick. Break it down some records, some standings. Obviously, a lot's changed. I think last time we talked, I was in first place. That is no
I,
longer the
I
case.
was in last, I think.
Yeah. So our Kenny's gotten better. I've gotten extremely worse. Let's start off at number 10. Dan, 2-6. 2 wins in a row, I think. Yeah, 2 wins in a row for Dan. So maybe we should just stop doing the podcast and Dan will start winning. Maybe
Yeah,
there's a correlation there between that.
there is.
Mike, Dan's brother-in-law, 2-6. Kenny at 3-5 in the A spot, and then Jared is the first team out of the playoffs at 3-5. I am the last team in at 4-4. Nikki in the fifth spot at 4-4. JJ in the fourth spot, 5-3. Throwing a lot of numbers out there. Sorry. Jake is 5-3 in the third spot. Grant 6-2. No more injuries, please. And then Lee, who has been just
Dominant.
whooping on people. He whooped on me, put up 168 on me. It's really offensive. Um, 6-2. So he is in the first place. Again, we last time you guys saw us, I was in first place. I'm no longer in first place. Um, I have a good team. It's been tough. It's been
Yeah.
tough. Kane's got a good team too. He's right there. He's literally a game back from me. So, pretty much since we stopped doing this podcast, my team has done horrible. Um, not good. Not good at all. Um,
Yeah. And something I just noticed on the Sleeper desktop like website, it has a little laugh emoji next to the team with the most points for, which means points like scored, which would be Lee. He has 1,186 points scored, which leads the league. And there's a caca emoji for the team with the most points allowed, which is actually your team. You have
Oh,
1,117 points allowed, which is up there. You have like 14 more than me. So yeah, we both been getting
wow.
teams putting up a lot of points against us.
You
So
know, there's been a big discussion about points for and points allowed, and I've been pretty steadfast that those are fake statistics that are only there to make people feel better about themselves or make them feel worse about themselves. I don't look at PF. I didn't even know you telling me that for the first time. Um, I did not know that was PA at all. So, um,
but
yeah, you
hey,
know what?
you
Hey, I get
can't
it. I
lie
mean, look,
that you can't lie that it triggers something in your brain to think about it.
nah, hey, man, it's a win-loss league. You know, if we all if our teams were based off of how many points you scored, who would be in first? Dan would probably be in first place,
Huh?
right? I mean, it doesn't matter. It depends on who wins. There's
I
a
mean,
game. There's a game we play. It's called competition. It's called sport.
I'm
So
cool with it, bro. I'm just saying. I was
PF and
just pointing out
PA
factuals.
PF and PA are fake statistics, and I will not pay attention to them, even though I have the most points allowed. Again, I'm going to say it again. I have the most points allowed. All right,
I think real quick, I think we should look. We should do a little preview of these matchups because there's a lot of implications.
let's do it. Let's do it, man. This is the
Um,
people's pod.
yeah. So we are approaching week 9 here. We are 1 week away from the NFL trade deadline.
Whoa,
We could talk about that further in the NFL pick section, but there was a big trade that just occurred today that has fantasy implications.
Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson to the Ravens.
Back.
Um,
Deontay Johnson back in the AFC North.
Also, something I remembered yesterday, in-season Hard Knocks drops beginning of December.
Whoa,
They're gonna be tracking all teams in the AFC North, which that division's
whoa,
been pretty entertaining. So
whoa,
we're gonna see behind the scenes of the Steelers. We're gonna see
whoa,
behind the scenes of the Ravens. It's gonna be great content.
whoa, whoa, whoa. That is sick.
Yeah.
That Browns one is going to be awesome.
Oh yeah, the Browns one's gonna
I
be good.
cannot wait. Listen, I have not watched. Actually, I don't even think I have HBO anymore. I'm going to need your login
Yeah.
whenever you get a chance. I have never watched in season Hard Knocks. Excuse me. I am watching it for the Deshaun Watson, Cleveland Browns drama because that stuff is crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be nuts.
That's going to be insane. And listen, I'm not one of those guys that's like, you know, obviously Deshaun Watson tore his Achilles. That sucks. That
Yeah.
sucks. I mean, that's whatever, like I'm not even gonna touch that, but yeah, that sucks. So I'm not
Yeah.
gonna watch that like, waiting for him to watch it. We all watched it, the whole world
I
watched
don't
it.
want to see his Achilles pop again. That was not.
Yeah, it's actually I don't know what it is about watching the Achilles pop, but it's crazy. I think it's just because it shoots right up.
It's so like yeah, it's so
It's
vivid.
like with the ACL, you can't really see it. I mean, there's some nasty ones like Chris Godwin. That was nasty. That was nasty. You don't really want to see. You don't want to see any of these. We're not gonna sit here and say that we like seeing these. We don't. Um, But the Achilles one is probably like the strangest one because you can literally see it. Ever since Kevin Durant did his, I feel like Achilles are on the rise. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, we got some good matchups. Why don't you get into them?
Yeah, so I'll do ours last. So we got a really important one here. So we got Lee, who is 6-2, facing JJ, who's 5-3. This if Lee wins this game, he could potentially sit on top at 7-2, which would give him a very, very strong chance of making the playoffs. He's got very strong roster. Derrick Henry, he recently acquired. He also has Kyron Williams. So basically, he's two of the top running backs in all of fantasy. He has Lamar Jackson, which is one of the best quarterbacks in fantasy. JJ's been dealing with a lot of injuries. Lost Pacheco, Nico Collins. He lost Ayuk. So he's been dealing with a lot of injuries. So his team, unfortunately, has been trending down. Can he pull off the upset?
That remains to be seen.
That remains to be
Um,
seen. Any comments
that
on that?
remains going to be a great game.
Going to be a great one.
5-3, 6-2. If I had to put them in a hypothetical TV spot, based off of all the matchups, I would give them Sunday Night Football.
That's a good one.
Yep.
All
I'm
right.
putting them. They are officially the Sunday Night Football game of the week. Next matchup.
Next matchup, we actually have another important one, especially for me, as I am trying to I'm kind of in that weird purgatory where I want to make the playoffs. Also, don't want to go Waffle House, any last place punishment type things. So this matchup is important to me. We got Mike at 2-6 facing Dan at 2-6. Whoever loses this is going to be at 2-7, going to be in last place officially of the league. So this is going to be a really important one. We got Mike, who is led by JT, Jonathan Taylor. He's got A-Chain, who he recently acquired from, actually, I believe it's pronounced A-Chan. No, is it whatever, A-Chan, who he recently acquired from Dan, who he is playing. A.J. Brown, Marvin Harrison, Trey McBride, who he just got from me, unfortunately. Left McBride to get Waddle. Anyways, and Dan has a pretty good roster led by CeeDee Lamb, James Conner, Jaden Reed, Aaron Jones. We'll see if Brian Thomas plays. It's going to be a good one. Both teams are actually pretty good for their records. So
Yeah, they're both 2-6. Like I said, numbers don't lie. It's a win-loss league. Um, since I'm sticking with the TV theme here, if I had to put this one on a TV matchup, this would be your local broadcasting would be blacked out in your area. So this would only be available to people outside of your region. So the great people of Bushnell, I'm sorry, you will not be able to watch this game. This will probably only be able to be seen in the opposing team's city. So if the Bucks were playing the Vikings, it would be blacked out in Tampa and it would only be available in Minnesota. So they will be the 1 o'clock local broadcast blacked out in your area. You're gonna have to go to an illegal stream to watch it. I apologize.
I will be tuning in on Stream East to watch
There
that.
you go. There you go.
So that's going to be a good one. And then just for the sake of time, I'm going to start running through these a little quicker. We got
Yep.
another good matchup here. We have Nick, who is 4-4, facing Jake, who's 5-3. Jake's
Ooh.
team has lost back-to-back weeks. He lost Chris Godwin last week and Stephon Diggs, both season-ending injuries. That hurts, man. That hurts. Nick's team's on the rise, so we'll see what
Yep.
happens there. But
Yep. That's a great game. It's a battle of some Temple Terrace legacies, some Temple Terrace heavy hitters, heavy hitters. Um, I'm gonna give that one. Let me look at the other matchups real quick.
we have you and me left.
Ooh, I'm gonna give them the Fox 425 America's Game of the Week. Tom Brady, Kevin Burkhardt, Aaron Andrews, Tom Rinaldi, the National Spotlight, Nikki, Jake, Temple Terrace Magic. They get the Fox 14. Fox 425 Game of the Week goes to those two.
You did say that Lee and JJ's game is also game of the week, but it's okay.
No,
Uh,
I didn't. I call it Sunday Night Football. So what do you? Where are you
you
getting your
said
facts from?
no.
I gave them Sunday Night Football.
Hey, run the clip back, chat.
Yeah,
Anyways,
there's a difference.
so
It's called Fox's America's Game of the Week. What are you talking
you
about?
you said Sunday night. All right, whatever.
What?
It's
What? It's called
irrelevant.
Sunday Night Football.
No, you said it was America's game of the week. All right. Anyways, moving on. So we got Richard, the Bandits, 4-4 on the decline, but still a good roster. Facing Jared
On the
at
decline,
three
but
and
still a good roster. Wow.
I mean, you've been losing a lot. Jared, who is 3-5. This is going to be a pretty important game for me to watch. Actually, going to be pulling for Richard. Unfortunately for Jared, I'm again trying to make.
Wow.
I'm trying to make
Why?
the playoffs. I'm
Is it
trying
because
to
you
make the.
more? Because you like me more?
I'm no. I'm trying to make the playoffs. I like everybody equally. Okay. Jeez.
Damn. If I'm Jared, I am pissed off, man. I'm rooting
It's
for. Hey, I'm rooting for Richard. No rhyme or
it's
reason.
all
I'm just rooting for
competition,
Richard.
bro. It's all. I'm 3-5. He's 3-5. It's nothing personal, bro.
Yeah. I'm giving me and Jared Monday Night Football.
All right. Well, that leaves my game Thursday night football.
You get
I'll,
Amazon Prime Thursday Night Football.
which is actually a terrible spot to be in because Prime has been awful. So
Terrible.
I'm taking on Grant 6-2 again.
Oh,
I mean,
whoa. I take that back. I'm not giving Grant 6-2 fun. I'm giving Grant Monday Night Football.
all right. Well, the
He's a national
schedule has just
draw.
given me a brain pretzel.
I'm
So
giving me and Jared Thursday Night Football. It's not really two good teams. It's a 500 team and a below 500 team, kind of perfect for Thursday night. Because of Grant, who is 6-2, not 3-5 Kenny, he is a Monday Night draw. This would be like the Commanders playing the Giants.
okay. I think I'm a
Mhm.
little better than the Giants, one game
Mhm.
back from you, but it's all good. So I'm actually projected to win by quite a big margin here. So I'll be
Oh,
playing. I'll be playing Grant, who is 6-2. I am 3-5. Um, Lee should be pulling for me because if I beat Grant, then Lee wins. He'll have sole possession of first place. I need this win bad, man. I need this win bad, trying to create some separation from last place. Luckily, Grant's missing his 49ers, he's got Jordan Mason and CMC. They're both on bye, so we'll see what happens.
I mean, CMC hasn't played all year, so
Well, he's going to
bye,
be
no
back week
bye.
week 10.
Yeah, those. Yeah, I doubt that. I doubt he comes back week 11. No way.
They're going to ease him in. I think they're going to ease him in.
He's a man.
Ease him in.
He's a man.
He's the
He's a
man.
man.
He's the
He's a
man.
man. All right.
All right, let's move
That's the
on.
rundown of the week. Again, let's do quick TV schedule. Monday Night Football, Grant and Kenny. Sunday Night Football, Jake and Nikki. America's Game of the Week. Excuse me, I've already screwed this up. Monday Night Football, Grant and Kenny. Sunday Night Football is JJ and Lee. America's Game of the Week, Nikki and Jake. 1 o'clock broadcast. Can't find it in your local area. Mike and Dan. That is actually the closest we're gonna have to the Waffle House. Whoever loses that game, when they say chances percentage of making the playoffs
Oh yeah.
with this win or with this loss, percentage of going to Waffle House with this win, 0%. Percentage of going to Waffle House with this loss, 100%. So
It's gonna be high. It's gonna be hard to come back from
that's
that.
the sabermetric stat. And that Thursday Night Football, me and Jared, that's gonna be a good one. Those are two really impressive fantasy football players. All right, it's your fantasy football talk. Now
Yep.
let's get into the meat and potatoes. What the real fans who have no skin in the game in our fantasy league are here to see. Our picks, our picks, our picks. This podcast is sponsored by DraftKings. Bet $5, get $200 automatically in free bets.
The crown is yours.
Crown is yours. Not legal in Florida.
Okay.
We actually did a pretty good ad piece there, man. Geez, I hope DraftKings gets wind of this. Give us some free bets. All right. You want to go to the first game?
Yes, let's rip it.
Let's rip it. Texans Jets. Why I'm wearing this because it's Thursday night. In the Meadowlands. My favorite part about all the games is I tell them the stadium. MetLife Stadium in the Meadowlands. The Jets are 2-point favorites in this game. No Stephon Diggs, no Nico Collins. Stephon Diggs out for the year, torn ACL. Stephon Diggs out for the year, torn ACL. Nico Collins on IR. Tank Dell, wide receiver one now. Who do you like in this game?
So I've actually thought about this game a lot today, just randomly. Just 'cause I'm like, this is an interesting one. So the Jets, we all know they have an amazing roster, but they're not a team. Okay. I just don't think they're a good team. They have all the names, all the talent. I don't know if they have the coaching, to be honest, but they definitely don't have the culture.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they should win this game. But when you talk about like what a team is, the Texans, they honestly rely mostly on the running game. Joe Mixon has been a revelation. They gave up
He's been
practically nothing.
amazing.
Yeah, practically nothing to get him. He's actually on my team. Anyways, I'm gonna go Texans here. I think the Jets are gonna lose the game. They're not like they're gonna basically
I
give the
think
game
they I
away.
think
Is what
they
I'm
actually
trying to
just
say.
signed him as a free agent. I don't even think they traded for him.
I heard they gave him a seventh round pick.
Did they
My,
really? I thought
my,
I thought he
I'll double check, but my sources told me that.
maybe they let me see. He's 28.
In exchange for a 2024 seventh round draft pick.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that he had any time left on that contract. Um, I'm going with the Jets, and here's my reason why. This is what happens in the NFL. Now, the worst part about this game is that the Jets are favored. I wish they weren't favored. I wish they were +2. But this is just what happens. This is the NFL is going to want to put on a show. It's Halloween, all eyeballs. Every single Halloween party in the nation is going to have this game on. It's going to get a ton of eyeballs. The Jets are in their black uniforms. Usually, I'd say there's no way they're going to win this game. But seriously, like, no Stephon Diggs, no Nico Collins. At what point, like, who? I don't know who is after Tank Dell on that roster.
Xavier Hutchinson, but he's
I don't
fine.
know who that is. I hate to say it. I don't know who Xavier Hutchinson is. I'm sure he's a good football player in the NFL, but Devin White, get live 45 as a Texan now. That's a bad omen because he just left the Bucks hanging. Um, I'm gonna go with Jets. Like I said, I just think eventually whatever Aaron Rodgers got left in the tank, this is it. I mean, this is actually the Jets season. This is if you do not win this game, you are not making the playoffs at 2-7. No way, no how. So I'm gonna go with the Jets. I think they're just gonna be more motivated. I think they're 0-3 in fired head coach games. That's horrendous. So they gotta win this game. Jets, 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 Jets,
How do
Jets.
you lose your fire coach game? That is just
That's they know they've lost, I think, three fired coach games, which is horrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Broncos, Ravens at the bank in Baltimore. Broncos are the surprise of the NFL. God, dude, I can't see myself. This is really bad. It's a little bit better. All right. The Broncos are the surprise of the NFL at 5-3, and the Ravens just had the upset of the century. Hate to say it, but your boy called it. Did I or did I not?
yeah. I think you called it was gonna be a close game. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Way to describe me on national airways. Um, who do you like in this game?
I like the Broncos keeping it close, but I'm definitely going to pick the Ravens here. They just added another weapon. I doubt Deontay is going to. We can talk about the trade, I guess. Deontay Johnson just got traded to the Ravens today from the
A little bit of
Panthers.
buck.
Yep. The Ravens practically gave up nothing. They went from a fifth round pick to a sixth round pick. Um, Even if they had, I don't know if they had to pick up the remaining of the contract or whatever. I don't think so. I mean, it was like a 1 year, 3 mil, I think, contract. Anyways, they just added another piece. They've been absolutely balling. The upset loss last week, if anything, that's going to fuel them to even play better this week. So I think the Ravens are definitely going to win this, but the Broncos are no pushovers, so should be a pretty competitive game, I would think.
Yeah, it's a tough one because Sean Payton is definitely flexing his muscles that he is still got as a head coach. Rookie quarterback, 5-3. Nobody expected it. Some pretty impressive wins. I know it's versus a lot of bad football teams, but they did beat up on the Bucks when we were the Bucks. Um, I'm gonna go the Ravens at home here. Pretty disappointing loss. Broncos have been cruising to some victories. This might be a little bit of reality potion for the Broncos. Not saying they're a bad football team, but what the Ravens did to the Bucks, they could easily do to the Broncos. I'm going to go with Baltimore at this one at home. Raiders Bengals at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. It's not the name of it anymore, but Paul Brown Stadium is what it will always be. Raiders uh atrocious. Don't really know what else to say about it. I don't think, unfortunately, Antonio Pierce is going to survive next year, which really sucks because this whole, you know, these interim coaches that stay on, it's like they just can't bottle up what they had for those 6, 7 weeks of where they were the interim head coach. And it's I don't think Antonio Pierce is a bad head coach. He's shown it, but to his defense, that roster is horrible. From top to bottom, it's a terrible roster. It's terrible roster construction. They fired Dave Ziegler way too early. I don't know what was the purpose of even hiring John. I mean, I don't understand where Mark Davis goes from here. I guess you could call it Belichick. I guess you could call it Vrabel. I don't know what they're going to do with that roster either. I feel bad for Antonio Pierce. Bengals by three. One, two, three. Three touchdowns.
I want to do something crazy here.
Oh
So
God.
this is we talked about this the 7 point spread theory.
Six
Um,
and a half.
on mine, I mean, dude, that's so close. On mine, it says seven.
It's a big,
Um,
big difference. No, I'm saying the theory is 6.5 points.
the theory is 6.5. I thought it was
Yeah,
seven.
6.5. No, it's. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess you get. It's whatever. Go
I
ahead.
mean, it pushes. All right. What I'm trying to say is the Raiders last week, they lost by a touchdown to the Chiefs. Did the Chiefs mostly kind of dominate that game for the most part? I think so. But the Raiders kept it close, right? The Bengals have looked better the second half, the second, I guess, quarter, I don't know what you want to call that, second part of the season, sort of. So we're not technically halfway through. But, anyways, the Raiders, I think, are going to keep this one close. You just said by three, right? I think Jacoby
No, no, I
Myers,
said by three touchdowns.
3 touchdowns. Oh, I don't
Yeah,
agree.
three, one, two, three, three
I
touchdowns. They're gonna be
don't.
by by 21 points.
I don't agree with that. But so I think the Raiders are going to keep it close. They have a pretty good defense. They have decent weapons. Brock Bowers has been a really good tight end for them, obviously, and Jacoby Myers is playing pretty well. The Bengals might
I
not
don't think
have
he
T.
played last
Higgins.
week.
Jacoby Myers played last week. He balled. He
He
balled
played.
out. He balled out last week. Yeah.
He's no longer hurt.
No, he was hurt though.
No. Well, he was hurt.
Um, but The Bengals are 3-5. All right, like their defense has been letting teams run it up on them.
Really bad.
Alexander Madison, not a good running back. Honestly, the Raiders shouldn't win this game, but they're gonna win this game.
Oh,
I'm calling it
oh,
now. All right. So my pick is the Raiders.
dang. All right.
Gotta have bold picks, man.
Patriots Titans Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. This is if you're paying money to see this game, God bless you. You are these are listen, this is where the true fans come out. This is where there's no light at the end of the tunnel. There is no hope at all for at least this season. This is where you're going to find the real fans. The fans that are gritty, the fans that the season ticket holders that have been there for years, they're going to be there. This game at kickoff is going to be a very empty stadium, and in the fourth quarter, it's also going to be very empty. Um, with all that said, I am going to take the Titans. Patriots coming off in a huge emotional victory. There's two key words in this podcast: emotional victory and a long flight. When you combine one of those, and if God forbid you have two of those, you will lose the next game. Give me the Titans by a touchdown.
Yeah. I'm with you on the Titans. Patriots, Christian Gonzalez. Who did they just play last week? The Jets. He was
JET,
locked.
yes, yes, yes,
He
yes.
locked up. I believe was he on Devontae? I think he was on
Was he on
Devontae.
G5?
I don't know. I have to sneeze, so I'm trying to get through this pick quick. But I'm gonna go Titans. I think they're gonna rely on the run game. It's gonna be a low scoring game. We'll get lucky if we see like 2 touchdowns this game. So I'm gonna go Titans.
Bless you.
Doesn't happen.
Saints Panthers again. Another one of these games. If you're here, you are you are for real. In fact, every single fan going to this game, if you're a Panthers fan, should get a free piece of memorabilia, a free jersey, a free hat, a free ticket voucher, a free Chick-fil-A gift card. This game, listen, as a Saints hater, and obviously I don't like the Panthers in the NFC South, you would have to pay me $10,000 to go to this game. 10 grand to go to that game. That's how much I would not want to go watch that football game. Saints by a lot. Panthers are horrendous.
So agree with Richard. This is
Oh, whoa,
another.
whoa, whoa. You know what? I just brought my cardinal rule. Panthers. Sorry.
Yeah. So I'm also going Panthers, and the reason I'm going Panthers is two things. One, actually
Have you
one,
sneezed yet?
one. No, I just it went away. But it's really messing with my sinuses, though. All right, one main thing because I have a theory, and it's similar to the fired coach theory that when you get rid of your wide receiver one, for some reason that team just seems to click a little better
Yeah.
the following week. I don't know why. I just kind of noticed it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a common thing. I don't know. I'm just speaking for myself here. So I do think that Andy Dalton might get the start because they make no sense, and I'm sure he'll get the start. He had a thumb injury, so he didn't start last week. So the offense is most likely going to be better. They're most likely going to be working in Jonathan Brooks. He's coming back from injury reserve. He was a second round draft pick, first running back drafted this draft class. Very good weapon. So the Saints defense is proven to be terrible. Derek Carr actually might be back this game, but still he's all banged up. Olave's been banged up. He's had like 10,000 concussions. Both teams suck, but I'm going to take the Panthers here. I see them going like 2-7 and then losing again. So go Panthers.
Note on Olave, I mentioned this earlier in some text. It is hilarious how Tua has been pretty much shamed for playing football again for way more money than Chris Olave at a much less dangerous position than Chris Olave. Chris Olave, I believe, has had maybe one less concussion than Tua, and you have not heard one peep for the masses saying Chris Olave better put a football pad down for the rest of his life. Pretty, pretty, pretty hypocritical by ESPN, every single person on Twitter, every single person on the planet who doesn't really know football or understand football. Not saying I do. I'm just saying that's ridiculous. Chris Olave has gotten absolutely destroyed in the football field multiple times. I had him in fantasy the first year he got a concussion versus the Seahawks. He was in a different time zone. He's in a different planet. I think he's had 2 concussions this year already. Give me a break. All the two people who are begging for him to never play football again, give me a break. You turned down $40 million. Let me know how it feels. I respect Tua.
Preach.
I hope the best for him because it's not looking, it's been tough. Um, Cowboys Falcons Mercedes Benz Stadium in Atlanta. I'm taking the Cowboys, and it's not going to be close. Falcons emotional victory. Had absolutely no business winning that game, but they did. Sean Hockey, you guys know how I feel about Sean Hockey. He is one of the worst referees who has ever stepped foot on a National Football League field. He is terrible. He has a specific vendetta against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm gonna find out what it is. My theory is something happened to his dad at like we did something to his dad. We didn't, give him a hot dog at halftime. We did something to him that pissed him off when he was a kid, and his whole soul life mission is to come into Raymond James and piss us off. So you're terrible, Sean Hockey is what you are. Cowboys by a lot.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Cowboys. It's gonna be a high over under game, 52 points. Probably gonna be a shootout. I think the Cowboys are slowly gonna kind of get it together here. They lost Dowdle like game time decision last game to some illness or something. So hopefully he'll be back. Not that he's like the best running back ever, but they'll establish some type of run game without two 30-year-old running backs, Zeke and Dalvin Cook. I think Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, they've been out for a while. I don't know. I'm assuming at least one of them will be back this week. I don't know. That'll obviously be huge for the defense. Yeah, the Falcons, man, they only go off against the Bucs, it seems, this year. Other than that, I mean, Kirk hasn't looked like that amazing. I mean, he's playing like decent football right now, I'd say. But the games against the Bucs, they look amazing because our secondary is so banged up. So yeah, I'm with you on the Cowboys. I'm surprised they're underdogs.
Yeah, Vegas trying to trick everybody. Dolphins, Bills from Highmark, Highland, High whatever field in Buffalo. Used to be called New Era Stadium. Um, I really believed in the Dolphins last week against Arizona. I really did. If we recorded last week, I would have been banging the drums saying that the Dolphins are going back to the Super Bowl. I don't know what happened. I wasn't able to watch the game. I was watching the Bucks lose to the Falcons in heartbreaking fashion. But something is not right with that football team. I don't know what it is. They don't seem to be letting up a lot of points on defense, and their offense just doesn't really seem to be clicking. This is a really good get right spot because the Bills had a kind of emotional victory. Fox's game of the week. Josh Allen got a lot of press doing interviews with Tom Brady, Aaron Andrews, yada yada yada. Everybody saying he's so great, and they just came back from Seattle. That is probably the longest flight you could possibly think of from directly east to west because that's a far flight from Buffalo to Seattle. And the Dolphins, they got nothing to lose at this point. So get ready to see some weird offense stuff this week. Give me the Dolphins.
Wow. Yeah, I mean the Dolphins obviously they lost to it of that bad concussion. It wasn't looking that good before the concussion. Like it wasn't playing that well in my opinion. I mean he was like I think he had like two touchdowns, three picks, something like that. Maybe flip that. But like it wasn't anything like crazy that like we normally like last year we saw from Tua who led the freaking league in passing yards. I mean obviously first week back he's probably getting adjusted. So last week I'm kind of like going to throw out the window. So I expect a competitive game but I don't want to pick against such a good football team like the Bills. They're just such a complete offense. I think they really have found their identity. James Cook's really getting rolling. Now they're involving Keon Coleman. They haven't even got Amari Cooper going yet. So I think if they can get those two guys really going, they're going to be pretty hard to beat. I'm going to go Bills here, actually.
Chargers Browns from uh, Progressive Field in Cleveland. I think I'm wrong on that one. I'm sorry, fans. I'm sorry, everybody. Somebody.
Huntington Bank Field.
Okay, yeah, whatever. That's such a lame name. Um, listen, you guys know what I'm about to say. Emotional victory. No, absolutely not one person in the stadium in the world on the planet believed they were going to beat the Ravens except this guy. Give me the Chargers. They're going to blow them out. Jim Harbaugh, the guy screams Midwest. Give me the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Chargers. I think this is a like a great Vegas is gonna like bring people in. Oh my God, the
Yeah.
Browns look so good last
This
week.
line is the fact that they're only 1.5 point favorites is all you need to know. In fact, and I'm changing something right here.
Yeah, the Chargers are that's a good spot for the Chargers.
Yeah. In fact, I'm a little concerned with how much I like this game, to be honest with you. But I'm still going to stick with the Chargers.
Yeah,
Is your pick Chargers?
I pick Chargers.
Okay, cool. Giants and Commanders from MetLife again. I am gonna go with
We lose you?
The Commanders. But they are going to win by less than 3 points, 3 or less points. It's going to be a close game. Emotional victory. Said it a billion times. I'm going to say it again. Emotional victory. The Giants will be competitive in this game. They're going to be a live dog, but the Commanders are going to probably kick a field goal at the very end to win the game. Two, they're going to start calling the Commanders the cardiac Commanders, cardiac kids. Going to come down to the wire again, but give me the Commanders.
Cardiac Commanders, actually. That's a good nickname.
It's a really good
Um,
nickname. Maybe we should probably trademark that before somebody else gets it.
yeah. Should make like a shirt with that. Long
Yeah.
flight, cardiac commanders, emotional
Long
victory,
flight, emotional victory, cardiac Commanders.
emotional loss. All right, I'm gonna go commanders here because I have been bullish on the Giants the last 2 weeks and they've done me no favors. The Commanders defense is looking better, I think, than people thought. They've like pieced it together with all these old veterans like Bobby Wagner, and somehow it's still working. They're 6-2, great football team, obviously. Jaden Daniels roughed it out last week against the Bears and played through a rib injury that he suffered the week prior, which actually made me lose in fantasy against Dan, which sucked. But I'm gonna go Commanders here. Obviously, they're a complete football team. I'm surprised that they're not favored by more. I mean, they're away, obviously. MetLife scares me, man. I don't want any like season-ending injuries happening here. I
Yeah.
just for some reason I have a bad feeling about this game. I don't know why. There's something bad coming from this game. So I hope nothing bad happens, but I'm gonna go Commanders.
Jeez, I don't really like the vibes you just gave off. My goodness gracious.
It's
Um,
MetLife, dude. MetLife,
Jaguars, Eagles from the bank in Philly. Um, Eagles are playing really good football, man. And the Jaguars, I think, are done. I hate to say it. I don't want to be that guy that puts a fork in any team, but the Jaguars just can't get it done, man. No matter what they do, they could have beaten the Packers last week, didn't. Defense looks terrible. Offense doesn't really look any good. Brian Thomas might not play. Christian Kirk broke his arm. This one I think is going to get ugly, and I think, unfortunately, sometimes the way this is only kind of fitting. I don't want to say this, but if this is Doug Peterson's last game, that would be pretty weird that it was versus the Eagles. I'll just put it that way. I'm going to take the Eagles in this one.
yeah, I'm gonna go Eagles here. Jaguars are really banged up. They lost Christian Kirk for the season. Brian Thomas is day to day right now. Those are like two of their key weapons. Travis Etienne's been hurt like all year. So they're rocking with Tank Bigsby, who's been playing pretty good. But yeah, the Eagles were rolling last week. I think they're gonna catch their stride and they're gonna dominate the Jaguars. So yeah, I'm Eagles.
Bears Cardinals from State Farm Stadium in the Toaster in Arizona. The Bears coming off one of the worst losses in recent history. Not really, but it was more of a heartbreaking, stunning loss than the worst loss. The Cardinals coming off an impressive victory versus the Dolphins in Miami. Miami. Gonna take the Bears here. I'm gonna take the
I was
Bears.
gonna take the Bears.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the Bears here because that really stings. I think shockingly enough, they've gone about that whole Tyreek Stevenson video in the and probably the best way possible. Tyreek Stevenson apologized on Twitter. He went in front of the media like a man, owned it, was said, "Hey, can't have that. Not can't win with them, can't play with them." Famous Bears linebacker Mike Singletary. Um, I think they did all the right things. I think they could have let that linger and they could have made it a. I know the media made a huge deal of it. I know it was a big deal Sunday night. I think they're going to come back. I think they're going to be hungry, motivated. Caleb looked better in the fourth quarter. I think that play call, the Bears could have won that game 3,000 times. That handoff to that offensive lineman was the worst play I have seen in a really, really long time. That's the definition of getting too cute. You look up in the dictionary, getting too cute, it's handing the ball off to a lineman at the 1 yard line when you have DeAndre Swift and Roshan Johnson. But all that said, give me the Bears.
I'm with you on the Bears. I feel like the Commanders, though, like with that last game, they kind of, in my opinion, were like outplaying them, maybe up until the fourth quarter. So like usually like when Hail Marys happen, you feel like they stole the game, but in my opinion, the Commanders kind of like won back the game in a way, but it's irrelevant in the past. I'm gonna go Bears here as well. I'm with you. Like that was an absolute like just stunning loss right there. And I forgot who it was, but somebody made a comparison saying Jaden Daniels is who was drafted after Mr. Trubisky? Do you remember, or was it before? Was it Stat? No, I forgot who it was.
Mitch was in the same draft as Mahomes and Deshaun Watson,
It,
I think.
yeah, it doesn't matter. But basically, somebody compared Caleb
Solomon
Williams.
Thomas was picked third. Miles Garrett?
One second.
Mitch was
Uh,
picked second.
Dang. All right. Well, I don't even know where this comparison came from then, but somebody basically said that Mitch Trubisky, they compared Mitch Trubisky to Caleb Williams, which I don't agree with. I think it's a huge overreaction.
That
He's actually been
is,
playing pretty good football. I want to say, I don't know if it was Michael Irvin. I don't want to put dirt on Michael Irvin's name, but
oh, not the playmaker,
somebody
not the
compared him
playmaker.
to Mitch Trubisky, which I thought was a kind of an overreaction. Caleb Williams is a good football player. He's been playing pretty well for his rookie season, in my opinion. I think if you do it over again, Jaden would probably go one, Caleb would go two. But they're both playing pretty good. So I'm going to go Bears here. The Cardinals are such a hot and cold team. They win one week, they lose the next week. It's just hard for them to string together like a series of wins. So I think the Bears are in a good spot.
That's really. I mean, I'm gonna kind of divulge for a little bit. I think that's really interesting when people always say like, you take this guy here, you take that guy there. There are some guys that are good because of their situation. There are also guys that are bad because they're just bad. Like I think Mitch Trubisky, no matter where he would have gone, would have been a bad NFL quarterback. I mean, he's actually proven it. He went to Pittsburgh, was a starter, wasn't good. Um, but I really do. I mean, this is easy to say, I guess, because we'll never know. But I don't know if Patrick Mahomes is an MVP, like one of the greats quarterback, if he goes to Chicago instead of Kansas City. I think he is still probably a sufficient high level quarterback. But what if Patrick Mahomes? I mean, I never thought Patrick Mahomes. I remember at Texas Tech, he was a gunslinger and he wasn't very accurate. Like he was really wild. He'd throw the ball over the field. If he goes to Chicago and does that, and there is no Andy Reid, and his head coach is John Fox, like and then I mean I guess they hired Matt Nagy eventually, but like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if Caleb would be better or worse if he was in DC, and Jaden would be better or worse if he was in Chicago. I think they're all just meant to be where they are, and they end up being what they are because of the situation they're in. So that's just a little rant from me there. Sorry about that. Rams, Seahawks, Lumen Field in Seattle. The Rams. This is one of those weird games where we talk about the NFC West. The Niners own the Rams own the Seahawks, the Niners own the Seahawks. It's like this never-ending wheel between all of them. McVay and Shanahan and Cardinals are somewhere in there. I'm gonna take the Rams. I don't think the Seahawks are that good. I always thought the Seahawks 3-0 start was pretty bad. Now they got their butts kicked versus the Bills, but Seattle to LA is not really a long flight at all. It's probably like an hour, hour and a half. Give me the Rams. The Rams in this one.
Yeah, I was gonna pick the Rams. Now I'm second guessing because we've had a lot of the same picks, but I'm gonna have to stick with the Rams. I
Usually
just think
Magic.
I just think with Puka back and cutback, their offense looked like completely different. Kyron's been playing really well, obviously. Seahawks might get DK Metcalf back, which would help them a lot because he's a dominant, wide receiver one. It kind of opens up the field for them. You could tell when he wasn't there that I mean they really just struggled on offense. So I'm gonna go Rams. Side note: 2017 draft where Mitch Trubisky was drafted. That was the year we drafted OJ Howard, which was
Ugh.
was a terrible draft pick.
Passed on TJ Watt. Never forget. And Dalvin Cook. Ugh. Can't even think about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sick. Lions Packers in Lambeau. Shout out to JJ. He will be there.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
He
that.
will be in the building. That is gonna be sick. I cannot wait to see the pictures he sends. Um, Lions are coming off a 50 burger. I mean, that was embarrassing for the Titans. Packers coming off an emotional victory in Jacksonville. Jordan Love got hurt, pulled his groin day to day. Not a good sign. Probably not going to get a lot of reps in practice this week. Um, Lions, I think, are starting to fill that role that the Packers were in for probably 2 decades of kind of like the beast of the NFC North. Um, so I'm going to take the Lions here. Might be a close game, might be a blowout. I hope Jordan Love plays, even though Malik Willis has looked good. Malik Willis, I think, is a really good guy. Don't really know how that correlates to the field all the time. Um, but I'm going to take the Lions in this one.
Yeah, I like the Lions pick, but just to add some suspense to everything, I'm gonna go Packers here. We don't know if Jordan Love's even playing, so this is like a total gamble. Because Malik Willis still led them to I forgot how I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks of wins. Pretty sure they won all the games when he was in, and they beat the Titans, his former team, which is really cool.
Coming.
And he handled that with class, so I see why you're saying that.
Handle
So
all class.
all class, all class. So I'm gonna go Packers here. Packers still a really good football team. They have a ton of weapons across the board. Defense is playing pretty good as well. Lions, they're an absolute juggernaut, so they're not going to lose a whole lot this regular season. But the Packers are at home in Lambeau. Lambeau is a very tough field to go and perform well. Um, it would actually be good for the Lions to get this loss so they get a little bit of adversity because they've just been kind of breezing through every team, it feels like. So yeah, I'm gonna go Packers.
Colts Vikings Sunday Night Football. We just found out today. Ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. Breaking news. Anthony Richardson benched. To the bench he goes. Um, got sent there by head coach uh Shane Steichen.
Yeah, just
He
like
said, "You know what? Can't do this anymore." Joe Flacco has found this resurgence from Cleveland to here. Went to Baltimore, then he went to Denver, then he went to New York, then he went to the Eagles, then he went back to New York, then he went to Cleveland. Now he's back with the Colts. AR opened the door for him when he was hurt for a little bit because he gets hurt frequently. They look good. AR, I believe at one point was 2 of 15 last week versus Houston. That was I had to do a double take on my phone. I couldn't believe it. Um, and then he subbed himself out of the game because he was tired. I've never seen that before either. I think that he actually was hurt. I don't know if he was tired. I think he
I
was
mean,
hurt.
he,
I think
he
he hurt
runs
himself.
around like he's a running back, so
Yeah,
that's
it's you know what? This would be really impressive. This I think would be like actually I don't know because you've invested so much in that draft pick, but what if they just put him in the backfield?
I mean, like a Taysom Hill type role.
I mean, seriously, Taysom Hill, why aren't more coaches figuring out ways like, okay, what value is AR bringing to the Colts, which is sitting on the bench?
It's actually a good idea.
None. Like if Taysom Hill, who was literally god awful at throwing a football, can succeed and just every single time he gets the ball be a dual threat to actually pass. What if you actually took a guy who's a top 5 pick and did that? I think we all know, or deep down inside know, that Anthony Richardson is not a pure passing quarterback that's going to lead a team to the Super Bowl. He's not. But what's stopping the Colts from just using him as a literal like what put the Taysom Hill package and give it to Anthony Richardson? I bet you he's really good at it. I bet you the narrative changes on him that hey, this guy can be a situational football player. It's not that hard. Put him at tight end. Seriously, the guy is a freak athlete. Put him at tight end. He jumps all over. He flips. He does the front flips and all that stuff. That guy can catch a pass 10 yards out. Listen, this is what these guys get paid to do. I don't get paid to do that. I get paid to actually I don't get paid to talk about this. Nobody cares. I'm gonna take the Vikings. Actually, I'm not. I'm gonna take the Colts.
Oh wow,
I think the Vikings are on a little bit of a
Downwood.
downward downward trend here. They had a bad loss to the Rams on Thursday night. They should have won that game. I think they're kind of floating a little bit back to where they probably should be, and they probably win not this one, but the next one. Give me the Colts on the road.
I'm gonna try to make this a quick one. I'm gonna go Vikings. Reason being, there's two reasons. One, when we started this podcast, they acquired a new left tackle. I'm not
Oh,
an expert in offensive linemen,
yeah,
but
Christian Darrisaw out for the
there we
season.
go, Christian Darrisaw. So yeah, he's out for the season. They traded the Jaguars for Cam Robinson, the left tackle,
Wow,
for a
wow, they did it.
late draft pick. So that's a huge hole because you saw what happened in that last game against the Rams
Holy
when
moly!
they lost him, or when they lost Darrisaw, their whole offense crumbled. So now they picked it up. I'm sure. I mean, an offensive lineman, I feel like it's not hard to get acquainted to a team. It's pretty like standard blocking. I feel like. So they got him and T.J. Hawkinson is supposed to come back this week. So I think he's going to open up the
Ooh,
field a little bit more, get all the weapons more open. Jordan Addison season. Hopefully he does better. So I'm gonna go Vikings.
switch my Jags pick to a Whomping. The Eagles are going to whomp them.
Oh yeah.
I had it as just a win. It's going to be a whomping, possibly a clowning. And then finally Monday night Bucks Chiefs. This is not even a joke. This isn't anything. I know people are going to think the Bucks are going to win this game. The Bucks are going to win this game. We are going to end the Chiefs' undefeated season at home on Monday night. I reference the Chiefs and Colts on Sunday Night Football a couple years ago. I think Patrick Mahomes' first MVP season. Um, the Colts went in there and beat them, and nobody thought they had a chance. They went in there with Jacoby Brissett. The Bucks are going to slow this game down. We're going to run the football. We're going to hit some timely passes. We're going to need a wide receiver to step up. I don't know who, but somebody's going to step up. and the Bucks are gonna win this game because Todd Bowles has Patrick Mahomes' number and Andy Reid's number. Bucks, Bucks, Bucks.
I'm seeing a post in one of our group chats through TikTok, which I don't have TikTok, that Mike Evans somehow might play Monday night. So that is a complete rumor. Do not take any of that seriously. But if that happens, that would be absolutely
Please do
amazing.
not play Monday night, Mike Evans. I'm begging you, please don't do that.
Yeah, that would be rushing it back for sure. You definitely need him for the long season here. I'm hoping we make some type of like trade, maybe get like Mike Williams. I don't know how much help Mike Williams can really provide, but just
Oh,
somebody to like spice up our offense. But I mean, Baker's still wheeling and dealing without two of his top guys. Balled out last week, honestly. It's really our defense. Like our defense needs to step it up. So I'm sure we're gonna have it dialed for the Chiefs. Chiefs have D Hop that we also have to worry about as he gets more settled in. I'm going to pick the Bucks. It's going to be a really tough game to win, especially in Arrowhead. But crazier things have happened, so anything's possible.
Dodgers are up 2-0. And that is the end of this podcast.
That's tough.
Thank you guys all for listening. MPL, I'm going to give my parents, because they asked me a bit today about the podcast. I told them Tuesday Night Football. Shout out to my parents. Who are
I'm
your
going to
MPLs?
get my MPL will be my parents because they gave birth to
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Low hanging fruit. Yeah, yeah.
They gave birth to me, and I love them so much. And
Yeah.
secondary MPL, Giselle's entire family.
Yep. My parents asked me, they said, who listens? I said, Giselle's family.
That's our entire demographic.
It's literally, that's just them.
Yeah. So awesome. Well, we back. Sorry for the wait. We'll see y'all next Tuesday. Cue the music.
Go Bucks.